Well, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're out camping in the southwest Blue Mountains of Washington, and viewers familiar with the channel will recognize this place. I've been here a few times over the winter, but with those times we had to snowshoe up. Today we got the old 4Runner on top of a peak. We set up camp, seeing what kind of photo we can get for tonight. So come on, grab your cup of coffee. We'll see what we can find. So on the way out, we had quite the rainstorm here in East Washington, and while we needed it, the clouds have already moved out a little sooner than I thought they would, though it was forecasted to clear up around 7. But now we're dealing with high winds, and I had to take a little extra time setting up my camping situation. I had to stake everything down. Problem is, it's so rocky up here that I can't really fully stake everything in, so I've had to improvise, use rocks on some parts, but I think everything's holding together. So while we're waiting for that sunset photo, you know, that's really not the main objective. If you've been following my Instagram account, you see lately I've been shooting some astro, and that's what really drove me out tonight, was see what kind of Milky Way shot we can get. So as these clouds go out, yeah, that might make it a little bit more difficult to find a composition for sunset. It's a night shot that I'm really hoping to get. But we got a few hours before that happens, and I think during the rest of that time I'm gonna head back to my vehicle, see how everything's holding up, all the guide wires and everything, and just finish setting everything up. Well, while we wait for sunset, I'm just going to kind of relax here for a bit. Brought some snacks. Gonna have myself a nice little sandwich for tonight. But yeah, it's kind of windy up here, like I said before, having to stake out everything. Hold on. Got my water, got my sandwich. But looking like the wind might die down a little bit, which will help. You know, it can be really annoying at night. You hear that flapping of the rain guard. Would take it off, but you know, I don't really feel like putting it back on. Well, we got about an hour and a half till sunset. But the cool thing is I do get excellent service on my cell phone and tablet up here. So after I munch down here on a little bit of dinner, I think I'll retreat up to the rooftop tent, get out of the wind, maybe watch a movie real quick, or at least a TV show, then head out. I got one composition in mind, and it's actually right here at the campsite, which is great, meaning I don't have to go far. I'll check photo pills here in a bit, see where the that Milky Way arm's going to be, but you know what, even if I don't get a shot, it's still gonna be a lot of fun just getting out. Alright, well, I've been chilling up here in the rooftop tent, just listening to the wind blow, watching some YouTube, cruising on Instagram. But the sun's starting to set outside, so I think it's time to get set up. Alright, so I got those 2 shots in the bag, but what I'm doing now, besides hand holding the vlogging camera because the wind is trying to knock down the tripod, I am going ahead and I am shooting a panoramic, something that I haven't done in quite a while. But it was hard for me to sit here and kind of decide on a composition. I've already shot a couple different ones, but frankly, you know, everything's kind of looking good to me right now. So I really don't know what I want to shoot. So in order to solve that little problem, I'm just going to go ahead and shoot a panoramic. Alright, so the lights pretty much died down. So what I'm doing now is I went ahead and I'm framing up my composition for tonight's shoot of the Milky Way. And Photo Pills is telling me that where I'm pointing the camera down this valley here, my best time to get this, the Milky Way arm, is between 10 and 11 o'clock tonight. So what's great about camping right where I'm shooting is I can go ahead and get my camera already set up. I'm gonna go ahead and get a blue hour shot now of just the valley down below, and then I'm gonna wait between 10 and 11 and get hopefully the Milky Way. It's starting to cloud up a little bit now, but the Weather Channel says it's supposed to clear up, but we'll have to see. So I don't know. Wind's still crazy, so what I did was I went ahead and I weighed down my tripod, so hopefully that'll protect it against the wind. The D850's already had several falls down the cliffs. Even though it's still chugging, I hate to push my luck, so I'm going to keep a close eye on that. So I'll see you back tonight. In the meantime, I'm going to head, finish my dinner, maybe have some hot cider. Was gonna make a little fire tonight, but between the wind and everything else, I'm gonna play it safe and just forego the campfire. So again, I'll see you guys in a few hours. Well, it's about 11 o'clock at night now, and I ended up having to change my composition just a little bit. I studied the Photo Pills app just a little bit more, and I ended up having to move my composition a little bit to the left, and so that gives me a better view of the Milky Way arm. If I wanted to keep my original composition, it wasn't going to really line up until about 1:32 a.m. and because I plan on getting a sunrise shot, you know, I just didn't want to wake up at 1, come out, do a bunch of shots, go back, try to get some more sleep. And also, the wind has not died down. If anything, it's gotten a little bit stronger. So I didn't want to risk having my camera out here all that time. So like I said, it's 11 o'clock now. I'm gonna go ahead and set up. I already got my blue hour shot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm shooting on the 70 to 200, and I'm going to do a series of 4-second exposures, and I'm going to crank that ISO all the way up to about 6400. I think that would be pretty good. And I'll take about 10 to 15 of them, and then I'll choose the best, like 5 to 6, and I'll go ahead and I'll stack that into Sequador, which is a program that I've used on my last image, and I was really happy with that because that really did reduce the noise. And then I'll take everything into Photoshop, blend everything together. Hopefully we can get a good shot. So we'll go ahead and get that done now. Then I'm going to crawl back in that tent, try to get some sleep.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's about 4:15, and you see the sun's about to come up, so I think we should head on down, see if we can get ourselves a good sunrise.
So I've gone ahead, I've set up for this morning's shoot, and while I'm tempted to shoot, you know, that sun coming straight up towards the camera, I'm finding that off to the side here is a little bit more interesting because I have this little opening right in front of me, which is leading us right to the mountains. And what I'm really drawn to in this photo is that we are getting the sunset rising up, giving these just beautiful orange pinkish colors, and that's contrasting very, very nicely with the blue sky still to the west. And this wind has finally died down last night, so we're not getting any of that blurring. So I've gone ahead and set up in my f14 because I want some of these wild mountain flowers in the foreground to be sharp in the image, but I also want that image to be sharp all throughout. So I've decided that, you know, a nice tight aperture should do the trick. So went ahead, I got the polarizer on, 2-stop soft grad ND filter. I'm shooting right around 30 seconds, ISO 64 of course. And I'm just gonna sit here and shoot this composition over and over as the sun comes up. I've already just taken one, and I already really like how it's turning out. Now, there's really no clouds in the sky, but we're getting this very soft, almost pastel atmosphere. It's not quite mountain mist, but the whole thing has this like softness to the scene that I'm really enjoying. So I'm gonna sit here, get some just get some more shots as that sun comes up. For this last shot, the sun has just come up to the east, and what I'm doing is I'm shooting directly away from it, and we're getting just a little bit of that alpine glow on the far mountain, and it's just really nice because the sunlight hasn't quite hit that ground yet, and so I'm using that relation between the dark ground and the bright sky. It's turning out pretty neat. So I think the light show is going to be over here in a second. I'm shooting at around f16, about 1 second or so. I have the polarizer on because it is doing a little bit, and we were getting this really nice magenta in the sky that was leading up to the darker blue. So yeah, this has been a super successful trip, but now that the sun's up, time to grab some coffee. Well, folks, that's going to do it for me. Got my coffee, got my breakfast cooking, a little bit of biscuits and gravy by a mountain house. So the only thing really left for me to do is finish eating breakfast and then go ahead, pack down, and head on out. So I thank you guys for once again coming along with me on this adventure. It was definitely a fun one. It definitely needed to get out and do some camping. So if you like this content, please give me a like, a share. You know, that really helps me on the YouTube channel. And until next time, well, we'll catch you out there.